I would like to begin by thanking everyone in attendance for gathering on this day in memory of my grandmother, Vicki Miller Hall. This day should be looked upon as a day of remembrance and love, not in mourning of a life that was lost, but in celebration of a life that was lived. Now, anyone that knew my grandmother knew that there was no limit to the life that she lived, and almost everyone here probably has a story that they could share that includes an antic of hers. Yes, she could be a prankster and loved to laugh. So if you were around her, you could count on one or the other. She was an individual that took life by the shirt collar and yanked it to where she wanted to go. Her personality was loud, and she would always let you know what was on her mind, whether you wanted to hear it or not. I haven't had the pleasure of knowing her all of her life, but the stories that she's told me has made up for it. All of my life, Grandma Vicki was like no other grandmother that I knew others to have. To me, she was this bright and vibrant peacock. Her feathers were always on display, and for anyone that has ever met her, you know this to be true. Grandma loved her frilly and sequin gowns. She was always adorned with her costume jewelry. She loved shopping, and the thrift stores were her playgrounds. The inside of her house was always jam-packed with what she liked to call her whatnots. And ironically enough, her favorite TV show was Hoarders. It was always playing in the background. Being born in the 1930s was no picnic for most people around this area, and my grandmother's family felt the sting of the Depression. To hear my grandmother speak about growing up with having almost nothing, I now understand how in later life she surrounded herself with things that made her happy. And some people would say that having all that stuff was being materialistic. I say it was a form of self-expression. Underneath this exterior, this lady that I had the pleasure of knowing was someone that would give you the last dollar if you needed it, or a ridiculous colored scarf to make you feel better. She was ferocious over her family, and she had a passion for life that continued well into her later days. Vicki Miller Hall will never be forgotten. She will always be missed and always will be loved. She was my friend, my sidekick, and my grandmother. Thank you.